The Mafia has its own laws that even its members are not allowed to break. The consequences of breaking these laws could lead to being kicked out of the family, or worse, getting whacked. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode. Today we'll be looking at the 5 unforgivable sins in the Mafia. Be sure to like and subscribe. You're always in the loop for more episodes. 5. Disrespecting the boss. Showing disrespect to your boss is one of the fastest ways to get yourself killed in the Mafia. Loyalty to the boss is paramount, and any perceived slight against them will be met with swift and brutal punishment. In the book Gotti, the biography of a Mafia boss, author Anthony M. DeLuca writes about the consequences of showing disrespect to your boss. According to him, if a capo regressed against the boss, he would be immediately removed from his position and put under another boss. If it was an underboss who went against the boss, he would be whacked. Under no circumstances was disrespect to the boss ever to be tolerated. There are many stories of capos and soldiers being whacked for showing disrespect to their bosses. One such story is that of Michael Francis, a capo in the Gambino crime family who was whacked in 2008, Torah after he refused to pay tribute to his boss, acting boss of the family, and boss of the Bonanno crime family, Joseph Massino. Massa had ordered Francis to pay $10,000 a month in tribute, but Francis refused. He claimed that he could not afford to pay that amount, but Massino was not convinced and ordered him to be whacked. 2 other gangsters, Anthony Center and John Gotti, were also ordered whacked by their respective bosses for showing disrespect. Centa was killed because he called his boss Philip Rusty Rustelli, a derogatory name, while Gotti was killed because he stole money from his boss, John Gotti. 4. Killing civilians. The Mafia is a criminal organization that operates outside the law. They are involved in all sorts of illegal activities, including racketeering, extortion, gambling, drug trafficking, and they even have their hands in politics. It is common knowledge that the Mafia does not care about the law or the safety of others. However, there are some things that even the Mafia will not tolerate. One of those things is killing civilians. And don't get me wrong, the Mafia is not above killing people. In fact, they do it all the time. But there is a difference between killing someone in cold blood and accidentally killing a civilian. The Mafia believes that civilians are there to make money and that they should not be messed with. If a civilian gets in the way of the Mafia's activities, they will be dealt with accordingly. But intentionally killing a civilian is seen as a sign of weakness and cowardice. The Mafia believes that if they show civilians that they are willing to kill them, then they will not be able to operate as effectively. After all, the Mafia needs to keep civilians on their side in order to make money. Civilians are the ones who gamble in their casinos, invest their money in their businesses, and pay their protection money. If civilians start to think that the Mafia is not to be messed with, then they will not do business with them. In addition to this, killing civilians can bring unwanted attention from the authorities. The Mafia tries to stay under the radar as much as possible. They know that if the authorities find out what they are up to, they will be arrested. That is why they try to keep their activities hidden from the public eye. When the Mafia kills civilians, it makes headlines. This brings unwanted attention to the Mafia and can cause problems for them in the long run. For these reasons, killing civilians is one of the unforgivable sins in the Mafia. 3. Ratting out your crew. In the world of organized crime, there is no greater betrayal than ratting out your own crew. To do so is seen as the ultimate act of cowardice and treachery, and it is often met with severe punishment, up to and including death. Why, you ask? Well, it all comes down to loyalty. In the Mafia, loyalty is everything. You are expected to be loyal to your crew above all else, even your own family. If you are caught ratting out your crew, you are not only betraying their trust, but you are also putting them in danger. Suddenly, they are now targets of law enforcement because of the information you have given up. In addition, when you rat on your own crew, you are sending a message to the rest of the organization that you are not to be trusted. You are seen as a liability and a potential threat, and you may find yourself on the wrong end of a fist or a bullet. It's bad enough to cross the Mafia, but to cross your own crew is a major no-no. So if you ever find yourself in the unfortunate situation of being tempted to rat out your own crew, remember this: it is never worth it. 2. Taking the money. Stealing money from a Mafia member is like stealing from the mob. The Mafia takes their money very seriously, and anyone who steals from them knows that they are in for a world of hurt. The consequences for such an action are swift and severe and can include torture, dismemberment, and even death. The Mafia has been known to use extreme methods to punish those who steal from them. One of the most famous cases of theft from the Mafia was that of Henry Hill and his crew. In the early 1980s, Hill was a member of the Lucchese crime family, and he oversaw the narcotics trafficking for the family. Hill and his crew stole approximately $600 million worth of drugs from the family, and when they were caught, they were brutally punished. Hill's life was spared because he agreed to become a government witness against the family. But his crew was not so lucky. One of his crew members, Jimmy Burke, was tortured and killed. Another crew member, Thomas DeSimone, was also killed. And a third crew member, Angelo Gaggi, disappeared and was never seen again. No. 1. Sleeping with the boss's wife. Sleeping with the boss's wife is considered to be one of the ultimate betrayals in the Mafia. Not only are you sleeping with the boss's wife, but you are also sleeping with his power. In the Mafia, the boss's wife is seen as off-limits, and anyone who sleeps with her is seen as a threat to the boss's authority. In order to maintain order and respect within the organization, sleeping with the boss's wife must be punished severely. It is common for the boss to exact revenge on the person who slept with his wife. This revenge can be swift and brutal and may result in the person being killed. There are many stories of men who have been killed for sleeping with the boss's wife. In one case, a man named Anthony Staropoli was killed after he was caught sleeping with the wife of his boss. In another case, a man named Frank Thierry was killed after he made unwanted advances towards the wife of his boss. As you can see, sleeping with the boss's wife is something that should be avoided at all costs. It is a cardinal sin in the Mafia and will not go unpunished. That's all for today, folks. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss an episode. See you next time.